I'm right here for another side quest. We're on the Santa Chiara Maggiore church. This church has been built in the 6th century and doesn't really look by it given the sheer size and the style inside, but it's a pretty old church. And it has been built on top of a Roman temple, probably dedicated to Diana. But the other interesting thing is that in Naples, as in any other Greek or Roman city, there are aqueducts, and there are aqueducts right now running under the city center, and we'll try to get in. So yeah, let's do it. So the place where we are here are the quarry. The quarry where they would get the tuff. This is the stone that has been gathered here from the ancient volcanoes that were there and was extensively used in this gallery as a building material. Um, you can see that this building material is quite appreciated from the scale of this small quarry right beneath the city. And now we're gonna get into the cistern. And these are where you would store the water. What happens is that back in the time, the piping from the sewer would leak, and then this leakage that would contain contaminated water would leak into this cistern and would provoke the contamination of this water that was considered as clean drinking water, and therefore one day it provoked a cholera epidemic, which in the end marked the end of using this kind of cistern as a way to store the water. The other thing is that one of the methods that they would use to check the quality of the water, or if the water was drinkable, is that they would take some guy that would get down here with the eels, and they would just put the eels in the water and see if they would survive in the water to check if the water is safe to drink. This is the kind of pipe that would break and then start leaking the contaminated water into the reservoirs, and then thus making the water not safe to drink anymore. The other important things about this gallery is that they have been used as some kind of bunkers during the Second World War. People in Napoli would literally leave here during the air raid from the Allied forces. And at some point, they have literally closed all the different entries, and the only remaining entries, at least in this sector, was used as a chimney for cooking. This is one of the places where they would cook, probably, and people would live here in the dark, waiting for the end of the bombardments. It is estimated that around 700,000 people are living in these galleries. Imagine living here. Apparently, we believe that these toilets were the only ones for the number of people, so that basically is only a few minutes per day per person that you can get to do your stuff. So the stairs that you see there are the entrance of this section of the gallery and the bunker. So basically, every time the firefighters would hear uh, the beginning of the air raid, they would ring the bells and alert everyone, so everyone would come here and find shelter in the bunker. So of course, these air raid could last for a couple of hours or maybe days, and then they would stay for the uh, as long as it's needed. Unfortunately, some families had to stay here for much longer, especially those where the bombardment, the bombing would destroy their homes. And therefore, here you would find all kinds of furniture, beds, and anything that is needed for living here, to live here for days and days. This is typically the kind of sound that we would hear, and this would mean get inside. You know, this city have been heavily uh, bombarded uh, by the French, by the Americans, by the English, and even once the city have been liberated and that Italy changed sides, by the Germans at the same time. So these gallerias, these undergrounds have literally saved the lives of many people. As I told you, 700,000 people found shelter in these undergrounds. And actually, Naples was one of the most heavily bombarded cities in Italy. But thankfully, the overall casualty numbers was unfortunately only about 20,000 people, especially if you compare this to the sheer number of the bombardments. I think it has been bombarded around 250 times throughout from 1940 to 1944, and especially around 130 times just in the year 1943. So, yeah, very interesting experience that I could only recommend right there. Alright, guys, I just found myself in a really cool museum that is like it's filled with various artifacts taken from all over the world. And here, and I'm in some kind of weapon gallery. Look at this beautiful mosaic here on the roof, on the ceiling. Samurai armor with all the different details from the helmet, the mask, face mask, the protection on the arms, elbows, chest. Great detail. First time I see one from this close. Very cool. Another set of Japanese swords and katanas. Here, more Asian weapons. Here you can recognize a kukri-shaped weapon. But basically, whether it's a saber or a katana, just like this shape was highly popular among sword fighters. Here, Indian weapons, pretty unique. I forgot the name of this one, but it's the one that you hold in your knuckle and you have the 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 the, the, the blade that comes out of your fist, so you can punch with it. More Indian weapons here. Look at the degree of all the details, the refinement, the craftsmanship. It's really cool. And it's all in this really cool gallery. More Indian weapons here. Even an axe. Sculpted in the iron. And this part is really cool because we got Arab guns and also from Morocco, very long shaped guns that they were used for Fantasia. So all cavalry, Moroccan cavalry would use them. These are the guys who stopped the invasion from the Turks. We're using these weapons. And even Japan became for some time huge experts in the fabrication of firearms. These are an example. Pretty cool. More weapons, halberds, crossbows, armors. Oh, this is a really, really cool museum. Wow, that's amazing. This is crazy. This is amazing. I love it. From the tiling to the woodwork, the collection of weapons, the displayed art, and even in the ceiling. This is amazing room. It's just beautiful. Aha. Look, some of the weapons, most of them apparently are from Spanish origins, at least for the rapiers that are displayed here. And here we can clearly see Toledo written here and here again. So the founder of this gallery has opened it in the 19th century, and he used this as some kind of exhibition space for all the craftsmanship, whether it could be painting or sculpture, and it's also a collection that gathers different elements, artifacts, objects from different parts of the world. And as you saw, you got some plates from Japan, plates from China, weapons from different parts of the world. And it was a way to display all the various levels of craftsmanship from different parts of the world, but also as a way to exhibit the skills of local artists and, for example, painters, as you see in the all on the walls, basically, of this gallery. King Dynasty porcelain. And this is the office of the boss of this museum, Gaetano Filangieri. Look at this beautiful walnut libraries. Super big desk. Get a nice view on the whole galleria. All bathed with the light. And it turns out that our fellow director had a correspondence with no one less but Benjamin Franklin.